Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am working in my December project. Now I have story 8 on this side, and I also have story 6, which will go on this side, which is going to have some journaling on it. So let's see what I can do. All right guys, so I sped this one up pretty quickly because there are basically two pages that get done today. I am going to get the journaling and the decorations done on this full size out of the page protector page. And then I also get story 8 done on the back of story 7, which it's always great when your numbers go in order, right? So I am going to create a couple of little clusters here. This, you guys, is my happy place. I love fiddling around with the little clusters. I love making things fit together. I love layering bits together. It is just something that brings me a lot of joy. So I am doing that right now. I am going to use these transparencies as well. These are 49 in market transparencies, and I am going to cut them apart and make them work for my clusters. So don't be afraid to cut things apart, move things around, do all of the things that need to be done, right? Just go for it. So now I am layering up the bits. I have some tickets, I have die cuts, I have the laser cuts, and I am just excited about what that looks like. I'm going to bring in the dark black color as well with that little star on top of a circle, and then I'm going to figure out the top one as well. So I have the wooden tag that is from the Pink Fresh stuff, and I am going to tie a bow in it. But it's not going to be a bobo. It is going to be one of the ones where you tie the string and have the knot at the end and it kind of dangles. Because I feel like that looks a lot better on this wooden tag than what I had going on. It is going to give me a minute to figure out how I want this to be, because I'm overlapping the round tag with a regular shaped tag. And then I'm going to have to cut apart my transparency again to have some of the berries show through. Now, when I'm working with this, I'm working with this like it's going to be on the front of the page here. And I am making my little transparency nestle around that hole, the little hole where the binder goes through. And I don't know when, but I do have an epiphany that it's not going to be on the front, and I don't have to worry about the hole. And luckily, the bottom cluster nestles into the hole super easily. I do have this piece of chipboard. It is a thinner chipboard that I am going to use to connect both sides of this page to. Now, I could have just put the two pages back to back, and that might have given me the rigidity I was looking for, but I definitely needed a little bit more, right? Like I needed it to be solid because I do have varying levels of textured items on either side of this page, right? So I'm gluing everything down really well because I don't want it to fall off, because it is an out of the page protector page. And I'm going to get that done, and then I'm going to journal on it. And I won't journal on camera just because it took me a minute, because there is an entire page of journaling right here. But as you can see, I am using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to put the pages together over top of that chipboard. I'll peel up the edges as well, where the glue did not go out to the edge all the way. And I will just go ahead and glue those edges down and kind of make sure that it is a solid edge, so I don't have to worry about when I'm flipping through the album it's peeling apart or falling apart, because that would definitely not be great. So now that I've got it on the backhand side, I am going to use my Crocodile to go ahead and cut the holes in here. Now my crocodile is just a super tiny bit smaller than the holes that are in the paper, and I do just mean a tiny bit, so I'm not stressing out about that. Before I glue down this cluster, I decide that I need to get this tied on. That's when I make the decision that it's not going to look great tying it onto the bow, or tying it onto the tag hole, that I need to actually tie the string on it. But I do grab some baker's twine and do my little bow for, excuse me, do my little bow for the regular tag that's hanging out with it. So now that I have these two together, again, I'm going to grab my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, and I am going to glue this bad boy down and make sure that it adheres nicely to my paper, right? And then I'm going to do the bottom one as well and adhere that too. Now, I could have just done one or the other and filled the whole thing with journaling, but in this case, I just decided that this was the best way for it to be, and that is done. Right now, I'm moving over to story 8. Now, I will say that I forgot to start filming this when I started it, so I was making things happen on here before I even realized that it wasn't filming. So I've got these two photos. It is a picture of the corner in my bedroom where the Christmas presents are, and there's a little corner between my dresser and the wall, and I'm like, yeah, we can just tuck the presents in there. Well, the presents are coming in, because let's be real, I do most of my shopping online, Christopher too, and they're in these boxes, and of course, the boxes are usually larger than the item, right? And then they're full of air pillows. So we've got a huge pile of boxes in our bedroom right now, and I'm just documenting that. And this is something that I document pretty regularly, I think, is the pile of presents that come in through the mail. I wish I would have waited to take this photo because I just had a couple more packages delivered today. That would have just been the cherry on top. But anyway, it is two photos of the same thing, just at different perspectives. And then this card right here is basically already decorated. It's got the layers and stuff pre-printed, but like I said, I like to add things to those layers and bits. So I cut things out, I'm tucking things in. It says, "Dear Santa Claus." At first I thought this pile of presents was going to go on the big 4x6 card at the bottom with the number 8. But ultimately I decided to change that up and give the 4x6 card, or give the presents their own card, which would be a 3x4 card. I'm going to use some of these rub-ons to kind of jazz up the background here. All right, so now that I've got that figured out, I'm trying to figure out what other little thing I can put on the 3x4 card to give it a little bit of substance, right? Like, I just don't want presents just floating out there. Not that that look is a bad look, but it's just not something I want for this particular card. So that's going to happen. And I'm going to get those rub-ons down. And I have spread the rub-ons apart so that there will be some of it poking out through the top and also the bottom area. I'm going to go ahead and glue some things down because glue is good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and figure out exactly where I want those presents and little decorative bits to go with it. And then I'm like, yes, it looks great. Going to see if I want it to add anything to that other card, and I don't. So I'm going to wrap up the entire process with the 4x6 card on the bottom. And removing those presents from the 4x6 card and putting them up there at the top has given me space to put some journaling down here on this card. as opposed to dedicating a 3x4 card to it. So I'm going to go ahead and make that happen. I'm going to layer up my number 8 over top of this frame, and I'm also going to back the frame with some black cardstock, or it's got tiny little snowflakes on it. I've used it already in the album. And then I'm going to spread a label underneath of that just to give it a base to sit on, so it doesn't look like there's just this big round thing chilling on top of my photographs. I thought I was going to leave the 8 as the chipboard color, but I decided that it really did need to be embossed, so I emboss it in gold. I thought about embossing it in green, but when I reached in for the embossing powder, the gold one was the first one that I grabbed, so that is the one I went with. I'm going to offset it a little bit off of the frame so it's not directly centered. I like this look for a couple reasons. I think it adds a little bit more interest to what I have going on here, because I feel like this page is a little less more than the other pages I have recently been completed, done. Wow, English is not coming out of my mouth very well right now, is it? But I feel like this one's not as much, right? It's not as muchly. It's not as more, and that's okay, because not every page can be that way, because I do need to fit every day into this album. So yeah. So anyway, I did the gold embossing powder. I glued on a little bit of greenery tucked underneath the number, threw my journaling down, and then that is going to do it for both of these, right? Finished page 6, which I wasn't even sure I was going to do. And it happened, right? Like, just decided to go with it. And then story 8 is done as well. So I guess story 9 is for tomorrow. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.